Look, it's a flood.
It's flooding.
Get away.
Quick, we need to get to higher ground.
Open the floodgates.
That guy's bigger than Kevin Durant. He's bigger and shorter than Kevin Durant.
How you be bigger and shorter than somebody? I mean, I know what you mean.
His nickname is the Slim Reaper.
I know what you mean. It was just a wild sentence, right? And that's why I sent you the video, because I was like, that's wild, bro. That can't really be Kevin Durant. What does Kevin Durant out here do is scrapping with people in parking lots for? And the fucking shiesty just rolled up shiesty like down to the fucking like eyebrows like Hofer used to wear the hats, right? Yo, man, squaring up. I mean, knuckling up bare chested with people in the parking lot. Hey.
Adam Silver would be so heated, he would have the anime vein, and then he would tilt his head down and have the anime all white lens glasses.
What the fuck are you doing?
Oh, and when, of course, his glasses go all white, it does a vignette straight onto his eyes with the sound effect.
And in the reflection of the shit, you just see the video. You see the video playing, and this nigga dragging that fat motherfucker around the parking lot.
How could Kevin do this? Kevin knows that he's the face of the league. If he gets injured, our ticket sales will go down. We have 4 national televised games on TBS this year, with the Phoenix Suns playing. How could Kevin do this? Bradley Beal isn't that big of an attraction. Devin Booker isn't all that fancy.
Damn,
How
shots.
would Kevin do that?
Shots.
How will I get Kevin back?
Shots. No, that video was wild, though.
I would say that, like, the NBA as an anime is a fun, super original idea. Bleacher Report has already been doing that.
I mean, listen, the whole skit was just inspired by the Bleacher Report. No, it was really inspired by that wild-ass video.
Batman is unintentionally...
I like how we will jump from Kevin Durant straight into Bat. Pause.
I've been watching Justice League and stuff like that recently.
Okay.
Batman is by far and away, unintentionally, the most hilarious superhero.
I like how we gonna transition from Kevin Durant to talking about Batman for some reason.
He is just unintentionally, like, the most absolutely hilarious superhero.
I feel like Deadpool would like to enter the chat.
Totally intentional.
Is it though?
The writers are absolutely trying to make it fun.
I know.
Like,
Spawn would like to enter the chat.
no, alright, so like, one of my favorite Batman
Although I guess Spawn is not like funny. It was more just like John Leguizamo being that weird, disgusting ass clown, right?
Yeah, definitely with John Leguizamo doing that. Like, Flash and Superman, like, ring the doorbell at somebody's house, and the woman opens the door, and you can see behind her there's nobody. And she's talking to Superman and Wonder Woman, and then it flashes back to Superman and Wonder Woman, and they're talking to her. Hands back to her, and Batman is just behind her.
Yeah, I mean,
like,
come on, when you've got Batman as a character, right? Like,
he just shows up.
Sometimes characters as stoic as like Bruce can be like so serious that you need times like that for moments of levity in their character, right? Like,
There are moments like other things. He's not even being funny. It's just the situation is absurd, and he's so calm about it. Like, there's an episode of Justice League where he's in the Batplane, and he has to eject, and the parachute's not working. And he goes, Batman and Justice League need air support because I can't fly at all. Now would be good.
yeah, no. Okay. I mean, yeah, moments like that definitely make Batman a contender for like unintentionally funny.
Also, just think about.
Also, I feel like unintentionally
like,
funny
just hit go,
is a hell of a qualifier.
Like,
yeah.
I was the other night, I was just thinking to myself, like, just giggling late at night.
Like, who doesn't know?
Batman.
Who doesn't know who the fuck you are at this point, Bruce? You don't have to say that shit anymore. I'm Batman. This nigga the DJ Khaled of the Justice League.
The dude goes around fixing childhood trauma by beating up on petty criminals.
I mean, listen, I'm not saying it's a terrible way to have chosen the coat, but I am saying that you should definitely go get, Bruce should be get as much money as he has, he should get some fucking therapy, right? Like, talking to Alfred can't be his only therapy, right?
How much
like,
stock in Wayne Industries does Alfred have at this point? Jesus Christ, to put up with Bruce's shit?
No, you know what would be extra funny? If Wayne Industries had like a shit mental health care package that came with their insurance plan. Like, you would think if your boss was coping from like the loss of his parents in a tragic shooting or robbery gone wrong when he was a child and dealing with all that PTSD to the point where he self-funded a vigilante spree and became one of, if not the most prolific superheroes of all time, that he would at least have some good healthcare plans for his company. But Bruce is also a billionaire, right? And we all know, let's be real, billionaires don't become billionaires by giving their employees good healthcare packages, do they?
So, for our listeners, I'm a huge fucking Batman fan.
No fucking... Oh my god.
I am the author of the Batman Paradox Theory.
Hey, drop it down in the comments if you were surprised.
It's fucking hilarious when Batman doesn't have prep time. His first go-to move is Batarang.
Yeah, I mean,
like,
what else? It's either that or the smoke bomb, right? Like, I gotta get out of here. Yeah, grappling hook. I gotta get out of here. Batarang, grappling hook. It is a combination of smoke bomb, grappling hook, Batarang, grappling
CQC.
hook. I mean, listen, Batman is also never scared to catch a fade, right? Like, he's always ready. He stay ready so he don't have to get ready.
Like, earlier this week, when Superman and him were fighting Darkseid.
When in doubt, put them motherfucking hands up.
On his back, on Darkseid's back.
When in doubt, put them motherfucking hands up.
Do you see the meme of, when you're a mage who ran out of mana? It's the guy just squared up in his pants.
Yeah. That's Batman, bro.
Exactly.
Batman is like, what's up? What's up? Okay, so what? You threw Superman through like 6 buildings. You think I'm gonna be scared, nigga? Come on, come over here.
Batman has 2 modes.
I bet you still
I'm
pussy.
super prepared. Literally nothing can stop me. I am human will and perception and creativity personified.
Who the fuck is Tony Stark?
And the second one is, well, let's see what I can do.
I guess I'm here anyway, right? Like, just epic moments of inconvenience is the entirety of Batman's narrative, right? A series of unfortunate events.
Watching the crime roll away.
Featuring Batman.
On Gotham Bay.
Watching the tides rise up and crash through. Surprised as a motherfucker that you didn't see that one coming yourself, as seeing as you started it. This is Doc
and Ziggy,
and we are The Flood, their favorite weekly pop culture digest, bringing you all kinds of hot takes when we're not stumbling over our own lines.
I just want to say that even if it was unintentional, still an assist in the box score.
With our pop perspective,
to put the culture in context
and make sense of
the mainstream, because if we do not make sense, we don't make
dollars. Harlow. And thanks to patrons like
Enraged Peacock
and
AC Slater.
We get to keep the lights on here at the Flood Studios and keep bringing y'all these hot takes. So, you know, if you feel like you've enjoyed the episode, feel free to give it a like, a share, a thumbs up, subscribe, and maybe even donate. Even $1 helps at the Flood Pod on everything.
That is on everything.
And
you know how we like to start this off, and that is by shamelessly abusing the algorithm. And this week's hit on the algorithm is
Lovin' on me, Jack Harlow. It seems like y'all really love to love on some Jack Harlow, don't y'all?
Pause.
Loving on me, Jack Harlow. I mean, I'm not
loving on Jack Harlow.
No, I said they like to. I said y'all like to love on some Jack Harlow. Not I like to love on some Jack Harlow, nigga. Now you've made it so people can cut the clip out of context. I see what you did there, Madam Web. The fuck? Speaking of Madam Web, we got some movie reviews, some show reviews to hit y'all with. Vince Staples dropped a short mini-series on Netflix that is fire.
I get to use the greatest intro music ever in this episode.
Because that X-Men 90 is... Oh, well, I mean, you can cut it out. Yeah. It's also like 3 weeks out. Like, is it that much of a spoiler?
It's still like a slight social faux pas to like go into a nerd group and say that Sephiroth kills Eric.
Speaking of killing the beloved, they just keep hitting your boy Trump over the head with more and more, and close to a billion fines. Yeah, we gonna talk about that. And them ratchet ass shoes that he got for sale, trying to pay his legal fees with.
Killing the Beloved is an incredible emo band album title. That is, I need to just pause. Like, like if Hawthorne Heights had an unreleased EP called Killing the Beloved, and can you imagine the cover art being like,
it would have to be
color, like Hot Topic portrayal of Romeo and Juliet, like.
I was thinking more of like some Archangel Michael like floating up, but like in a crucified like flame of fire, like what is that burning heart, the Catholic thing, that the burning heart symbolism kind of shit.
The Holy Spirit.
Yeah, man. Oh, come on, like some stigmata shit. Yeah. Can you imagine Trump in an emo band?
What would Trump's emo band be called?
Killing the Beloved, right?
No. That's too good of a name.
No. And the first album will be called Witch Hunt, right?
Witch Hunter.
No, it would be called Witch Hunt. They're after me, 'cause I stand for you. Witch Hunt.
I will not fall because I'll jump for you.
Witch Hunt. Oh my god, this is terrible. Why are we helping this man? No, oh my god, could you imagine Trump with the hair swoosh in front of his...
That's literally one gust of wind away from happening at all times.
That's why he's constantly fixing it. And that's why they love him, right? Because he's doing the like emo boy hair fix all the fucking time. It's not a toupee.
Pete would never.
It's not a toupee.
Remember when Ashley Simpson was famous?
I just saw that shit where she got exposed for like lip singing. What was it on Saturday Night Live? And she had to do that weird ass dance off stage, bro. Yeah, no, but that was back when like they still kind of the kayfabe was still there about artists performing live when they're doing, especially on Saturday Night Live, right?
So people cared about Saturday Night Live like that.
I mean,
when an SNL skit goes super viral, I mean, you see it, but then again, this is a thought that I had, like, monoculture is an escaping thing, so it's really hard to make referential comedy to things that aren't tragedy.
But you're over Jack Harlow, huh? You not feeling, I mean, you not loving on Jack Harlow no more? Huh? You just not, he don't tickle your fancy like that? Tickle your fancy. No, I mean, not really. No.
I mean, Kentucky is hoping the aliens enjoy Jack Harlow.
Whoa.
I was on the other side of the wall!
So what have you been listening to recently? Anything new, or just been digging in the crates for your old perspective? That sounded more condescending than I meant for it to sound, but I mean, you know what I mean.
I've
like
been listening to a lot of YouTube, like, long loops of music. So, like, the one I was listening to on the way over here was Disco House in a New York club, or in a New York basement club.
Disco House in the New York basement. I like the YouTube DJ Boiler Room mixes and stuff like that they have. Other Boiler Room streams. There's a couple of other ones on there.
Pause.
I think Book
Listen.
Club.
Continue.
I think Book Club is another channel on YouTube that does DJ live streams and stuff like that. Did you get a chance to listen to the new Kanye?
I did not.
Vultures dropped. The Kanye and Ty Dolla $ign collaboration, running about 16 songs. One of the songs, which is under a little bit of controversy right now because it didn't get the sample cleared. It had like a Donna Summers, the Disco Queen sample, not the song Disco Queen, but Donna Summers, the Disco Queen. I think it's good, aka Don't Die, but I listened to the entire album from start to finish because there are no skips on this shit. It is fire. It's like, nah, I'm not. It's hype, right? But it's not that hype. It was good Kanye. I think it's got some good replayability. Definitely. We're going
Kanye,
back.
but not the old Kanye.
Definitely not old Kanye. It's got that kind of like a hood gospel feel that he's
the
been.
New Kanye, the sponsored shoe Kanye.
Did you see his Super Bowl ad? The one he spent all the money for the ad placement on and no money for the production budget, so he shot it all on his cell phone in the car at night.
Despite the fact that we were watching the Super Bowl.
It's actually pretty funny, but according, I can't remember the numbers, but they're saying it worked. It did its purpose. People are talking about it because Kanye literally shot a Super Bowl commercial on his cell phone.
That's hilarious.
It's pretty.
See, these are like Kanye, unintentionally hilarious at times. This is one of those times.
I'm just saying, if Lady Gaga had done that, everybody would be like, she's a genius. Look at how she like rubbed capitalism in its face, right?
Yeah, no, it would have been like it's an If Gaga did it, it would be like the same reaction as the Banksy picture. That as soon as the soul started getting
But Kanye says stuff like, "How can I be anti-Semitic when I just fucked a Jewish bitch?" So we can't look at your art the same way, Kanye. It does. I feel like a lot of the controversy around this album is going to have an effect on the perception of this album. As you could probably tell, my initial introduction of my response to the album, it's not like anybody who tells you that the album is mid is really just being a hater, and I don't mean that in the Kanye stan sense. Like, this is a good Kanye album. I think it's better than the last one we got. I don't even remember what not Jesus is King, but it's better than Donda, right? It's better, and I didn't get a chance to listen to Donda 2 because I didn't buy one of those stupid music player things that Kanye was trying to pawn off on everybody. So it kind of feels a little bit like Life of Pablo. There's some Yeezus elements in here. I would say there's some Jesus is King elements in here. Like I said, it's got a real industrial gospel trap kind of vibe going on.
Like Trent West.
I mean, at this point,
Kanye Resner.
I don't think Kanye would hate that comparison.
Which one do you think you prefer more, Kanye Resner or Trent West?
Kanye Resner, because Kanye would want his name to be first, right?
Kanye is so narcissistic. He wasn't okay with just a quarter of the Compass Rose. He named his daughter North. For half.
North's little, listen, hot take, North's little feature on Talkin' was better than Adonis on Drake's song, whatever little 4 bars that he spit. And I'm not saying that to hate on kids. Don't be out here trying to slander me, right? Like, this nigga making fun of children. I'm not making fun of children. I'm just saying, if you Drake's son, if that was my kid, I wouldn't have let him spit those weak ass bars. Who even know what the fuck Adonis was talking about? I feel like I keep getting the boy name wrong too, but that's just
neither one of them are as bad.
Me holding myself culpable.
This is the worst example of this. Bill Simmons, he wrote this thing called the Book of Basketball. It's almost like a basketball Bible. It came out 15 years ago, right? He made a podcast called The Book of Basketball 2.0. His son rapped the intro. It's like, it's the Book of Basketball, yo!
Look, I could just be being biased, but I personally feel like every time I see Drake with Adonis, I feel like it's always a photo op, so Pusha T can't say that he's a bad dad anymore. And maybe Kanye's doing the same thing, but every time Kanye was on Keeping Up with the Kardashians, I feel like he was always with the kids, right? Like, even if he was being like a weird robot, he was still with his kids.
Beep, boop, that can go in a beep, boop.
That's your response to that?
Kanye, like, hears colors. So, I mean...
It wouldn't surprise me if Kanye had synesthesia. It might explain a lot of the weird rants and the mask and stuff that he wears. Like, if you have synesthesia, do you need to sensory deprivate? Or would that, like, be a weird, like, overload? Like when Professor X reads too many brains at the same time.
Or when Fry tastes purple all of a sudden.
Or when Fry had, like, all that coffee. This Kanye album will definitely have you wanting to taste purple. No. Pause. I don't know if that's a pause.
That's not a pause.
It was fire. I definitely reckon it's Kanye, right? It's almost impossible that he misses. Even when he did a gospel album, he didn't really miss, except for Closed on Sundays. That's still weird. Scoopity Poop was still wild.
Because he's closed on Sundays. He's too busy burning synagogues.
Jesus. And on that note, I think we're gonna take a quick break, and then we'll be right back at y'all with some more hot takes.
Right.
You take a sound, any sound, record it, and then change its nature by a multiplicity of operations. You record it at different speeds, you play it backwards, you add it to itself over and over again. You adjust filters, echoes, acoustic qualities, you combine segments of magnetic tape. By these means and many others, you can create sounds which no one has ever heard before.
And
we back.
it's sports time.
And we back with more sports news. Did we? No, we haven't talked about sports yet. I feel like we mentioned something off top, but like, let's get into it.
So this was NBA All-Star Weekend.
A All-Star Weekend where relationships are destroyed and dreams maybe achieved.
What do you mean? It's tampering. It's tampering galore. Come on, man. We have a Mac contract slot.
So, All-Star Weekend, how would you say, as you watched it, like, in real time, like, we just watched some of the highlights together, but in real time, what was your initial reaction to it?
The most exciting part was Ernie, Shaq, Chuck, Kenny.
That don't say a whole lot, right? So would you say All-Star Weekend kind of ended up the same way the Super Bowl did?
No, in hindsight, the Super Bowl was a much better game, even though I was not invested in it.
Damn, that's how you...
I look at the game, like, and people talk about it, I'm like, yeah, it was a good game. I just don't give a fuck about it.
I don't know if I would even say it was a game. It was a game of defense, right? But the All-Star game...
And then Packer go home!
I feel like the All-Star game looked like just a quick little pickup shit, right? Like something before... something to run the clock out for the season type shit. Like, it just, I didn't see a whole lot of energy. It didn't look like there was a whole lot of enthusiasm, and that leaked all the way through to even the fucking dunk contest, right?
Alright, so, did you know there's a thing called the Skills Challenge?
Go ahead and explain for our listeners what the Skills Challenge is. Not saying I didn't know that, but I'm saying the listeners might not have known.
So the Skills Challenge is basically testing a player's ability to do all facets of the game, like throw a pass through a hoop, or dribble around some cones.
Right, so
and
it's
hit a wing jump shot.
a technical assessment for fun.
Yeah, it's really sad. It's really sad to watch.
It's like watching the dog shit, the champion
It's like
dog
watching
run.
Somebody do workouts with LED lights.
So yeah, we're just watching. You guys love basketball? You like showing up and watching them practice beforehand? Well, here is a week's worth of practice.
Not even.
Oh man. Yeah, no, I was really disappointed in the dunk contest this year. There was no, like, enthusiasm was not there. I'm like,
They needed to bring the defending champion Max McClung back from the G League. Strong representative of my delegation.
Strong representative of the G League, because those dunks was nasty, right? But like everybody else's, the other two competitors, I'm like, what's going on here? Does nobody care about this shit anymore? And I mean, the way you put it, right, is there's no real incentive for them to perform. They don't want to get injured doing no extra shit, right?
Or Jaylen Brown in this dunk contest, who was awful, by the way.
Yeah, and like
I'm wearing a Celtics hat right now. And I can say that Jaylen Brown was the worst.
it was all bait. It's not like I could get up there and do this shit with my 5'7" ass, right? But I'm saying if you gonna enter the dunk contest, then at least put some kind of like originality and creativity into this shit. This nigga went up there and did like first level dunks, that the shits that you learn in like NBA Street.
Kai Cenat, who was sitting in a chair.
That was like the highlight.
McClung then jumped over standing Shaquille O'Neal.
Yeah. After he jumped over a dude standing on another dude's shoulders, right? Or sitting on another dude's shoulders. Because that Kai Cenat dunk was just trash, right? It was like, ooh, look at my influencer friends. Like, you're an NBA star, sir. You are like mountains more of influential and famous than this thing is. What are we doing here, right? I guess crossover of the century. Ooh. Y'all didn't see it coming, never let them know your next move.
No, it's just another example of the crazy splintering of the media landscape, how somebody can be world famous and yet so unknown to seemingly 4 out of 5 people.
Yeah, or 4 out of 5 people in that stadium, nigga. I'm sure that, like, who over the age of like fucking 18 knew who that was sitting in that chair? Exactly.
I only knew because of the Killer Mike shit.
Damn, and that's crazy because we've definitely talked about Kai Cenat on this pod before. So like that just goes to show you that shit was cringeworthy at best. Them dunks was weak sauce.
The 3-point contest is always good because it's like at its heart. The All-Stars always compete in the 3-point contest. They take that shit seriously. Do you know what Larry Bird said when he walked into the locker room for the first ever 3-point contest?
Damn, Larry Bird was in the first ever 3-point contest?
Larry Bird
of course he was.
Some of the biggest shit.
Of course he does.
He walked into the locker room and said, "All right, which one of y'all is playing for second?"
Nah, I mean, come on. That's the kind of energy you gotta go into a contest like that with, right? And this year...
Bird was such a hilarious trash talker.
This year it was...
Why do you have the white guy guard me? Steph competed in a special 3-point one-on-one versus Sabrina Ionescu.
Oh, I got you. Right. Yeah, so we didn't watch the actual 3-point contest.
Sabrina is a WNBA player for the New York Liberty who last year set the all-time record at the 3-point contest, men and women combined, for 26 points. And then she called Steph like 30 minutes later to challenge him to the 3-point contest.
Be about it. Stand on your business, nigga.
Yeah, and, you know, she shot 26 again, and then Steph, being Steph...
Cleaned it up with 30. And, you know, congratulated her, gave her a pat on the back, and was like, you know, you tried it. You did your thing. And I'm just, you know, once again, we can sit up here and clown all we want, but if I was to go up in a 3-point contest against her, I'm sure I wouldn't get anywhere close to the numbers she was putting up. So shout out to
Steph at this point. You know how Steph is always like so humble and so nice?
Yeah.
I feel like as soon as he walks away from the camera, he like peels off like a mask because he's like, motherfucker, I'm the greatest shooter on the planet.
How long before Steph has his Will Smith moment? Right? His Will Smith Oscar slap.
He's already had it. He's already had it. Klay Thompson is sitting on the bench.
Nah. Fuck it, this is my team. Yo,
He already had it. He was like, yeah, I'm fine with trading Klay for LeBron.
Crazy. This year's All-Star game though. Not it. Not really it.
I haven't even told you. What do you think the combined total score was?
Of the 3-point?
No, of the All-Star game.
Oh, of the All-Star game, the actual game. I don't know, both under the hundreds.
No.
No.
Total score for both teams.
Oh, you
combined.
said total for both teams combined. Oh, okay. I under 250.
397.
Damn. So almost.
What is defense?
It did not look like they were playing any D. That's why I said this should look like a pickup game, bro. It looked like it's just shot for shot, up and down the court, who's gonna get the ball kind of thing. Like, no energy was really being put into the shit. I told you, that's why I asked, like, yo, do they not get anything? I'm sure they get, like, a little bonus for participating in the All-Star game, right? But, like, it can't be.
Nothing enough to incentivize.
No, yeah, to actually show up and put on a show. Now, as a fan, how do you feel about that kind of attitude in this? Like, do you think it is even worth continuing to do the All-Star games if this is how the players are going to approach it?
Well, for starters, I think this is hilarious because my biggest take on this was the All-Star game is so bad that the content that came out of the All-Star game is talking about
how bad the All-Star game is.
So you asking me that is perpetuating this cycle.
More like, I was alleying it up, my nigga. Like,
so, I think the shootout between Steph and Sabrina was awesome. I would love to see like two.
And was
like,
that the first? I was gonna say, was that the first mixed gendered shoot off?
Yeah, I think that's the first actual NBA WNBA crossover event.
See, and I feel like there you go, right? Like that's gotta be the answer for the All-Star game for the All-Star games is to start doing more crossover between the two leagues.
You do 4-on-4, 2 WNBA players, 2 NBA players per team.
Or just do like, 2 All-Star games where it's like, the best in the WNBA playing against each other, and then the best in the NBA, but then at the end, like, the 2 winning teams come up and they play against each other, right? Like a little all-star bracket. Then we could really compare, like, the stats of the 2 sets of athletes, right? Like,
I think I just came up with something.
You're just gonna piggyback and steal my idea like a typical white man?
No. Continue. I had an idea that maybe might fix the All-Star game.
I mean, what were we doing just now? I mean, other than...
So there's 24 All-Stars, right?
Okay.
24 divided by 4.
6?
Players per team on the floor at a basketball game.
Why are we doing this?
I'll tell you.
Why don't you just get to the fucking point?
Point.
What is it? 8?
No, it's 5 per team.
Oh, 5 per team. I was only 3 off. Anyway.
So there's 24 All-Stars.
Yes. 5 per team.
If you divide it by 4, that's 5 per team plus 1 substitute.
Yeah.
You have 4 teams all play games 21 in a single elimination tournament.
Mixed gendered or just in general?
Well, just for NBA in that sense.
I mean, that's a cute little interpretation on the idea that I presented with the mixed gender thing. Let us know which idea you think would work better. Break the bracket, break it down into a more, a smaller pickup size bracket, right? And have the teams compete that way, or introducing more mixed gendered competition to really highlight both the WNBA and the NBA together. And
I think we can do both. I mean, like, the NBA has been messing around with the All-Star format. Like, for the past, 4 years, they did an All-Star draft. So the team captains would pick.
Yeah, wasn't it LeBron and...
It was like LeBron and Steph a lot. It was like LeBron...
Didn't we see one where it was LeBron and Kevin Durant?
LeBron has been the captain every single time.
Look at me. I am the captain now.
However, the draft did have one of the best comedic moments. It was right after James Harden got traded to the Sixers, and it's LeBron and KD drafting.
That's what that's the one you and I watched together. Yep, I remember
James to go last, and then
that's shady.
Like, what, man?
That's shady.
And Chuck was like, "Oh, he's fine now."
Shady. So, with that being said,
I think I would love to see more WNBA, NBA crossover events. I think that would be awesome. I mean, it's a little wonky because they use different balls.
I'm sorry, the 12-year-old in me didn't laugh just now. Yeah, so I guess there would have to be some compromises made and some adjustments.
Just be they play with the NBA ball.
Yeah, or maybe shrink the NBA ball a little bit to come up with a gender neutral. Because if like the women's basketball is small, a little bit smaller, then I can't see why they can't just make a regulation ball that's somewhere in the middle. Right, specifically for this game.
Be like, well, sure, whatever.
Right, yeah. I mean, like,
if it's like for an all-star event, I'm sure they wouldn't care that much.
How long do you think before the culture war narrative rears its ugly head and people complain about, like it's currently happening?
Come in and be like, 30 years from now, for this WNBA thing, it's gonna be one man, one woman, and one non-binary.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, first this, and now there will be a transgender league. I wonder how long it would take.
Non-binary National Basketball Association.
Jesus Christ. Any other sports news?
Nope.
All right, so what do you want to go into next?
Here, this one's fun. In this week's, I never knew I needed this.
A boat's a boat. The mystery box could be anything. It could even be a boat.
Meg Thee Stallion is presenting at the Crunchyroll Award.
Hey, I didn't know Crunchyroll had it. Everything's got an award show now. I mean, like...
The most nominated anime at the Crunchyroll Awards, JJK.
Oh, surprise. I'm so surprised. I'm so surprised. It's like, no,
It's like literally number one trending, number one most popular, number one nominated.
Adult Swim just dropped a new anime though, Ninja Kamui, right? I don't know if it's transport from somewhere or anything like that yet, but it's got mad I'm seeing it being compared to John Wick, right? The first episode is a real heartbreaker. I knew halfway through though, because it wouldn't, I don't know if I want to spoil it. Okay, spoiler alert. Halfway through the episode, you could tell that this nigga family gonna die because he loved his family way too fucking much. And the whole theme around the episode is ninja refugees, so like people who are like in like the witness protection unit for being like ninjas are being hunted down by some syndicate, and they're being like hunted down and assassinated in cold blood, left out on the streets. So the news thinks there's like a serial killer going around, but it turns out that our main character is one of those ninja recluses who's gone into hiding with his lovable family. And of course, they find this nigga out in the woods right after they have like a loving family bonding moment over the campfire with acoustic guitar and everything. Cause like, Adult Swim really had to like drive that fucking ice pick into your feels before they let you watch this nigga's wife get knifed right in the neck, right?
Slayer said, fuck that. First scene, everyone dies.
Oh no, there was a nice little character build up, so you got to know it. That's why I was like, the entire time I was like, oh no, his family gonna die. I'm not even gonna get used to these people because they're not gonna be here by the end of the episode, right? And spoiler alert, they're not there by the end of the episode. But it was good. The fight scenes were great. It looked like the same studio that they have do a lot of their in-house animes, or so that's why I said I don't know if this is a transport over from somewhere else or not. It's like the same animation that they used in the Boondocks.
I'm pretty sure every single top animator right now is working on JJK. Or One Piece. Actually, the top animator from JJK is currently working on One Piece.
I'm not saying JJK is good. Like, I actually started watching that shit because of how much everybody was talking about it.
I started watching.
And yeah, no, I was pulled in from the first episode. The story is enticing. The main character is not as one-dimensional as in like although whatchamacallit from Chainsaw Man is endearing in his perviness, right? He's not whiny like Deku or what's homeboy name from Demon Slayer?
Tanjiro?
Yeah, Tanjiro. Like, he's not like that whiny, it's just soft boy kind of shit that we've been getting from a lot of our anime protagonists. He seems to have some actual depth to his character.
I love how Itadori, like, in the first episode, is like, you know how all characters get shonen are like plucky and they have to overcome odds and stuff like that?
Yeah.
Itadori's just like, wait, you guys aren't OP right off the break?
Yeah, he's like...
He's like, I'm already broken. Why aren't you?
I'm the only one. I'm really the only one that can do this kind of stuff. Like
you really can't run this fast?
My man was like, oh, I'm not supposed to eat this cursed object? Well, my friends are in trouble. But my friends are in trouble.
World-class athlete. He's like, yeah, I don't want to do it.
It's like the opposite of Saitama almost a little bit, where like he's so OP but so nonchalant nobody notices that he's OP, right? Whereas Itadori is just like casually
so nonchalant about his OP-ness that
everybody's like, do you know you're OP?
You know you're OP?
Yeah. It's a little flip on that. So it looks like the studio
also,
is...
the animation is gorgeous, and my favorite part about JJK that I don't think gets talked about enough is the sound mixing is incredible.
I kind of feel the same way about this new Adult Swim series, right? Like, what got me was the opening fight scene in the beginning where the animation was just very clear. There was not a lot of that, like, flash cut shit. So where you're seeing, like, real contact, lots of blood. You know, I love a good, gory, violent anime. One, like, just over-the-top blood spurting shit, like, and this hit that right on the head. So if you haven't yet, and you must be sleeping under a rock, but if you don't know, now you know. JJK is gonna sweep the Crunchyroll Awards, and go check out Adult Swim's new anime, Ninja Kamui. And
really cool though that Meg Thee Stallion.
Yeah, that's what I was to double it back.
It's really cool that Meg Thee Stallion is actually presenting in this thing, right?
No, absolutely. Especially because
variety.
Not just that, but especially because, as we've talked about in the past, people of color, especially women of color, are usually gate-kept out of spaces like this, right? So to have Meg kick open those doors and go, yes, black girls watch anime too. Yes, girls watch anime too.
And she, in the advertisement, was cosplaying Death the Kid from Soul Eater.
Oh man, so it's not even like she's just up on the trending shit. It's not like she's just watching JJK and spoiling it for everybody. Usher. It's more like she's like, nah, nigga, like I really be about this shit, like Village Hidden in the Leaves type shit. Like, I think it's awesome. I think it's. I know. I was making it. She's made Naruto references before, and a lot of that. Yeah, keep up. So like, that's what I'm saying. It's not. This isn't no fake shit. This isn't no pandering type shit, right? Meg is really out here. Meg is really weebing it with the rest of us.
So I mean, there's one thing that we can never complain about with. Something people are currently complaining about with the new X-Men 97.
Oh, but
there are 3 types of people right now talking about the new X-Men 97.
I'm trying to figure out how you got complaints.
1, why are you making the X-Men woke? 2,
oh my god. There's always those people.
They've always been woke. Read the comics.
Yeah.
And 3, what the fuck did you do to Rogue's ass?
Listen. I'm not even gonna go there.
We will never question Meg's. Where did Rogues go?
Bro, let's talk about that trailer though, right? The premiere of that shit went crazy. The only other thing that was running up numbers like that was Beyonce's new country album and that Super Bowl Oh, and the Deadpool trailer. Deadpool and Wolverine, that shit was doing crazy numbers.
Yeah, way less excited about that than the 97.
Oh, okay.
And the 97 trailer got me way more
got you hyped for trailer. I still haven't seen Deadpool 2 yet. Once again, don't jump on me. I'm not a fan of Deadpool. The first one was cool. I had no desire to go back and see that shit again. I'm sure it'll be great for like family fun
I'll watch it on
entertainment.
when I reactivate my Disney for X-Men 97.
Listen, that's why I stay ready so I don't have to get ready.
All right.
Bro, X-Men 97,
X-Men 97
you can talk about Rogue's ass all you want, but let's talk about the combo finisher move between Gambit and Wolverine.
That 2 seconds of that trailer made me more excited than any trailer for Marvel I've seen in the past 10 years.
I was so hyped over that Gambit and Wolverine combo finisher move, bro, that I totally missed them fucking giving Rogue the flatty.
Logistics of this for a second, though. Because this is something that has interested me.
Is it just the, okay, so go ahead and present your case, because I feel like...
So Gambit can detonate kinetic energy in one of 2 ways. 1, on release of contact, or 2, on a timer. Right?
Right.
So if you're charging up Wolverine's adamantium skeleton...
Is it the skeleton, though, or is it just the claws?
The claws are part of his skeleton.
I mean, but... So how much of Gambit, how well do we think Gambit can control that? Because
extremely, but his claws are still going to explode, which makes me think
the claws aren't going to explode.
That Wolverine is just going to get his face blown off.
No,
he's going to have to take a time out to heal up.
I think you're assuming. I think you're being a bit extra, only in the sense that I feel like if, as agreed, Gambit can control where he displaces his kinetic explosions, then I'm sure he's only charging up the top of the claws, right? So that they have a concussive explosive effect.
That still might blow up his fucking hands.
It's not gonna blow up his... Okay, so but it's not gonna blow up the skeleton, though. It's not gonna blow up the adamantium.
His skeleton is unbreakable. So, I mean, he'd have to what about his gloves?
I think you just want to see Wolverine's hands explode. Let's be real. This finisher is fire.
It is really entertaining.
This finisher is fire.
Die and then immediately get back up.
I have to be like,
what are you doing?
Why was this not in fucking Capcom versus Marvel? Why was this not a finisher you could do in Capcom versus Marvel?
Marvel versus Capcom 4. Get on it.
Yo, I'm just saying, that shit is crazy. That was so crazy that I've been stuck on it.
TikTok you sent me where it was just how did we not think of this?
Yeah, shout out I can't even remember what her name, but the entire time, bro. It's been right there. It's been right there. But you know why? It's because they spent so long making them have this love-hate relationship. Why would they ever have a sick combo finisher like that? Right?
Because they have a love-hate relationship.
That seems like something Nightcrawler and Cyclops would do, right? It's not like a Wolverine, and both of them are too lone wolf to have a team finisher.
Rogue combo is the most broken.
Yeah, well...
Grab blank, boom, game over.
But you feel what I'm saying, though? Wolverine and Gambit are both within themselves too much Sigma male to have a team finisher move.
The combo with Rogue and Nightcrawler, RNG. Rogue Nightcrawler game.
I am totally game for this X-Men 97 trailer. It had everything. The trailer had everything that I was hoping it was going to have. Picked up right where the story left off at.
Cyclops a badass, which is...
Cyclops... Y'all are gonna put some respect on Scott's name, okay? Because Scott has been out here holding this motherfucking team down through heartbreak. How else would you feel if the woman of your dreams left you for it? That's what I'm saying. And he still whipped them niggas into shape every fucking chance he get. He'd be like, I don't give a fuck if my bitch out here in these streets. Right now, what we gotta do is protect these streets for her to roam, nigga.
She cheated on him, died, came back to life,
and chose the other nigga. That's crazy that they did all of that in the cartoon, though.
Really, really wild. In the standard Marvel 616 timeline, Scott and Jean don't have any kids. It's all the fucked up parallel universes where they have that fucked up family tree.
How could they? She isn't even sure if she loves Wolverine or not. Nigga, how could they? I'm totally hyped for this X-Men 97
I am
trailer.
excited that it's not a remake. It straight up picks up right after.
A continuation, yeah. No, it doesn't.
I love how much of a, pretentious dick Magneto comes across as. That means everything that Charles Xavier.
With his long flowing David, he's definitely in his Bowie era, right?
Yeah.
Shirtless in the fucking studio. In the library, right?
Who are we gonna get to judge this mutant talent show? I may be of some assistance. Magneto.
Oh, who would host Mutant American Idol? It would have to be Magneto,
Banshee,
Rogue.
No, it would have to be.
Rogue would be the Paula Abdul up there. That's a.
Well, no, it would have to be all mutants with like sonic abilities. Definitely Banshee.
Moving on, something I didn't know I needed was the surprise miniseries drop, the Vince Staples show on Netflix. That's right, Vince Staples and Kenya Barris have teamed up together to bring you I think it was 6-episode miniseries.
And it's hilarious.
With a real Curb Your Enthusiasm, Atlanta kind of feel. I'm all for more black irreverent shows, just showcasing the black experience through the absurd lens that it really just kind of is for us. I'm not here for the, I guess I'm here for the Atlanta comparisons, but only in love, right? Because I do feel like this show is distinctly and uniquely different in its storytelling.
I've only gotten through the first episode and a half, and I will tell you the first episode felt very episode 1 Atlanta. But when they got to the bank, I'm like, all right, this is where it gets different.
Yeah, in episode 1 of Atlanta, I feel like Earn goes to jail too, right? So that's, I feel like, probably one of the only real similarities, other than, once again, the overall actual narrative of the show being the absurdity of the black experience. Right, and this one specifically focusing on Vince Staples dealing with his fame and notoriety while also trying and dealing with the normal things that a young black man in California would go through.
Where
right
in Atlanta is
Earn is
$500K per album.
Earn is trying to make it. Vince is already making it and dealing and grappling with making it but not really feeling like you made it, right? And I feel like that's where a lot of the surrealism comes from, because we are watching this person who we view as a celebrity interact with people who don't even really look at him like a celebrity. Like, there's an episode where he literally gets jumped by mascots, right, at Surf City. And it's just like, can you imagine Drake getting beat up by mascots at Surf City? Or people like, there's something, his girlfriend in the show gets into it with a cashier at one of the gift shops in Surf City, and she's like, I'm gonna have my nigga come and fuck you up. And he's like, I don't give a fuck who your nigga is. Who's your nigga anyway? And she's like, my nigga Vince Staples. And he turns to the girl working with him and he goes, Who the fuck is Vince Staples? Who is Vince Staples? In the bank scene, right? And when they holding everybody up and they rounding up all the hostages, and he's like, do y'all know who the fuck this is? This is fucking Vince Staples. Of course they don't know who it is. Y'all niggas need to get some culture, right? Like, yo, and it does perfectly. I think it's not even cheesy for him to highlight the fact that I do feel like Vince Staples is criminally underrated. So yeah, no, I said when it dropped in 2022 that Ramona Park Broke My Heart was my favorite album that year. If you haven't seen it yet, definitely go check it out. It is a mini-series. Like I said, it's only like 6-8 episodes of that shit.
A 3-hour maybe total watch.
Yeah, oh no, I almost binge-watched it entirely in one day.
So this is something interesting the Atlanta comparisons are out there. And I was thinking, Donald started as actor in Canadian, then gained notoriety as a rapper. Vince did the opposite.
So I think, this goes into like the whole Tyler the Creator talk as well, right? These are guys who are more multifaceted. Like, there's even a joke in the bank episode where he lists his profession as artist on the bank, the request for the...
multimedia.
Yeah, because he's done...
He's pausing, he's like, I'm a rapper.
Yeah, because they don't want to hear it. But that's it, right? When you're black and you call yourself an artist, right? Like most of the time they pigeonhole you to rap music, right? Even if you do rap music, even if you do rap music and you decide to venture out into other avenues, I mean, Tyler the Creator is a perfect example, but he came in already kind of irreverent, right? Which I think allowed him the room to branch out and mature with his art like that.
So,
Kendrick, I feel like, is trying to do that, but is still pigeonholed a little bit to rap music.
I feel like it was for Donald when I found out he was doing Childish Gambino. For me, it was kind of hard to buy into it.
Well, I mean, have you heard Camp?
Vince going into acting, like...
No disrespect, Donald.
I'm like, oh, okay. Like, I already know Vince is hilarious.
I hear that, and it makes me think about, like, Lil Dicky, right? Or Lonely Island. And I'm like, why not? Right? And if he even went as far as to have the distinction between his writing career in comedy and his music going with, you know, the Childish Gambino moniker. I know I joked a little and I riffed a little bit on Camp earlier, but Donald is not bad when it comes to making music. The way that Donald presents himself is with a much more serious tone than I feel like Vince presents himself with. Agreed. Which is still a little weird because Vince is a very take me, don't play with me kind of ass nigga, right? But it's still like he is able to present himself with a bit more of a levity than I feel like Donald does sometimes. And I don't necessarily know where that comes from, right? It may just be a choice each of them have made artistically, but I don't think that Donald's irreverence or his dry humor is less than Vince's, if that makes sense.
I think Donald feels the need to show that he should be taken seriously.
Well, that's because people still make fun of Camp, right? Like, and he does get left out, and he does get left out a lot, right? Like, This Is America was really a defining moment for him, and then I can't remember if it was Redbone, I guess, was a defining moment for him, and then This Is America dropped, and we still don't really know where to put Donald, right? Like, I feel like culturally he's done a good job at making himself so varied and diversified as an artist that we don't know where to put him at. Whereas Vince very self-awarely made the joke that no matter how much he tries to diversify himself, he still gets labeled as a rapper, right? I would like to see more of this kind of stuff, though. I do think, you know, Tyler had Loiterer Squad, which isn't necessarily the same caliber of show that the Vince Staples show or Atlanta is.
The idea of Vince doing a stand-up set before this show came out.
I mean, he is hilarious. He may be one of the low-key most unintentionally funny rappers in the game right now. This show...
no, I believe he's fully intentional. He's just so good at deadpan delivery.
His Michael Jackson argument has been trending recently, right? And he talks about how he don't even really care for the music industry like that. And he's like, it's always, look at what it did to Michael, right? Like, look at the fame and how, like, that shit just rotted him. He was like, it's not cool what they did to him. He even mentions that in the show. So definitely go check that out. Definitely something I didn't know I needed this week. Was there any piece of media or content that you stumbled upon this week that took you by surprise?
Except on Mondays, because Jon Stewart is back.
I see what you did there. That's pretty clever.
Welcome to the Daily Show. I'm your host, Jon Stewart.
Man, listen, John ain't missed a step. He slid back into that shit like Mike Jack. I mean, honestly, true to form, captivating, and boy, what an opener. Indecision 2024. Why are we doing this?
Everywhere. The one that I liked the most was Indecision 2024, electile dysfunction.
Man, and boy, did he come and just air it out, right? Like, I love the way John shut down the Biden, mental cognition argument that's happening, right? Because everybody's talking about the deposition statement that was released and how Biden really might not be all the way there. And, you know, of course, they love to run those clips around of him tripping over his words and chords and stairs and hair. But
the part that really nailed it was when he was like, these are the two oldest candidates since the last time the record was set by the same two guys.
Right, and then proceeded to, you know, give plenty of examples of how Trump is also stumbling and bumbling over his speech.
But yeah, I mean, John skewered both Trump and Biden for being super fucking old.
I mean, yeah, and for not being all the way with it. Like, everybody tries to cherry pick all these examples of Joe Biden being, like, you know, mentally melting, but Donald went on stage and screamed about how magnets don't work if you drop them in water, and, like, seriously, like, what the fuck? It's because Donald is, like, let's be real, Donald is like fucking 10 times more charismatic and still able to at least give the energy that Joe Biden can't, right?
Yeah.
But I don't know how much more energy Donald is gonna have if they keep hitting him over the head with all of these motherfucking, oh my god, dude, what do we call it? Damn, the word slips. Yeah,
cases,
all of these fucking
charges.
I don't know how much energy Donald's gonna have left if they keep hitting him over the head with all these judgments, nigga. Like, almost a fucking $500 million. $500 million.
He can't even run a hot dog stand in New York for 3 years.
I was like, do you think he could sell Herbalife?
No.
Right? Like, he can't even sell Herbalife in New York, my guy. They shut his shit entirely the fuck down. Them weird ass Trump shoes, you can't buy them shits in New York, nigga. You gotta go to Jersey to get them shit.
Those January 6s?
You think Christy got a pair of them shits? Them high
Cool 45?
The high top gold shits is sold out already.
Elastic tops so they can fit the cankles.
I saw that shit, fam, and I was like, listen, is this a soft move or a boss move?
Moving on, it's time for soft move or boss move.
Trump J's. And then I told you, he had him proudly posted on the podium. It was like, yeah, get your shine on, get your shine on. Hey, Trump is wild.
Somebody needs to tell Donald that gold and red clash.
Yo, that shit is mad, like, just aggressive though, ain't it? Like, it gives off fascism. I feel like gold and red are definitely in the fascist flag of America.
The one I saw is the Homelander ones.
Did you see that? I think it was Tennessee that they had a neo-Nazi march the other day. I'm not equating the two in any way, shape, or form, but I do find it very tastefully ironic that...
Was it a scorched earth march?
The two things happen around the same time, the judgment for Donald and, you know, them feeling emboldened, because how do you feel about the argument that all of this publicity around his court cases is doing him more favor than harm?
He's gonna lose $500 million.
Okay, I'm not saying that that's insignificant, right? Because that does cut into his campaign funding quite a bit, right? Because I'm sure for the majority of it, not the significant portion of it is self-funded, right?
I'm sure he outsourced to China to have this lichen hybrid of Vans and Adidas's made.
Yeah, oh,
So
absolutely.
Inflated in Goldschlag.
Oh, absolutely. These shoes are made in a sweatshop somewhere. They're probably the same Temu sweatshop or a Shein. They're probably Shein. They look like Shein shoes.
Yo, Temu is wild. It's like so invasive into my data that it's the first thing it's advertising to me is Magic the Gathering proxies.
It's like, hey, listen, we've heard that you don't really, fuck with Wizards of the Coast like that, but we know that you still trying, you still try and get down. We might can help you out a little bit. That's why I said Trump gonna be like the dude with the duffel bag in the barbershop after this. He can't do shit in New York. Once he pay off this 500, he's really gonna have to hit the ground running in them Trump high tops, cause I can't see who would still be like willingly putting money into this man other than the people on the ground.
Can't run in those high tops. Like I said.
Do you think Trump can run?
Ankle cover. He will snap his cankles.
Who do you think would fall first, Joe Biden or Donald Trump?
Joe.
You think Donald Trump would beat Joe Biden in a foot race? Can that be how we elect him as?
Donald would beat Joe in a foot race. I think Joe would beat Donald in a bike race.
I feel like I've seen Joe fall on a bike too. I feel like that was from Obama era days. That's how we should decide this presidential run, because I'm sure voter turnout is going to be less than substantial.
I still think
disappointing.
that we need to see them run the military obstacle course if they're going to be commander-in-chief.
Oh, they'll die. I just want to see them run like...
There we go. That should be a qualification. You can't finish the military obstacle course? You die? Oh.
What started out as a joke has turned out to be a disaster.
If he dies, he dies.
Who do you think would beat who in a push-up contest? I kind of got my money on Joe here.
I got Joe here. He's not pushing up as much.
Yeah, I don't feel like Donald could do 10 push-ups.
Also, does his stomach have to get off of the ground completely to count as a full push-up? Because it might still hit the ground even with his arms fully extended.
No depends allowed.
Well, it depends. On his depends.
That's why I said no depends allowed. I want to see this nigga Donald shit himself while trying to do a push-up.
He shit himself while he's doing the mud crawl because he knew he could cover it up then.
Gross. No, listen. I feel like we gotta do better, America. I know we don't agree on a whole lot, but this can't be it. This, what did the kids say? This ain't it. This ain't it, y'all.
I think a lot of people are coming to the consensus that Madam Web isn't just bad. It's so bad that it reaches peak bad movies. Like movies that are so bad that people love them.
The general, I have not seen it yet, but the general consensus is that Madam Web is so bad, it's got people looking at the Marvels like, you know what, maybe we judged you too harshly. You know, maybe we were unfair to you because...
Has people asking that about Morbius?
No way. No way.
It does.
No, that's sexism. That's sexism. That movie Morbius is awful. God, that was like 2 steps away from The Room. Like, what do you mean? That movie is terrible.
That's getting Jared Leto.
That's what I'm saying. Like, seriously, guys, let's be real. Okay, those women put their all into that shit. Who knows what the fuck Jared Leto was doing in Morbius? That couldn't have been serious.
Sydney Sweeney didn't put her all into it, considering she's in Euphoria.
Listen, she did the best with what she was given to work with.
Yeah, apparently that director does not how to effectively use $80 million.
I don't know. Once again, I have not seen the movie yet. I said when the Marvels came out that a lot of the hate felt unnecessary. I feel like a lot of people were judging it who weren't really the core audience for that movie. But this does not seem to be the case with Madam Web. as always, I will wait till it comes out on streaming, and you guys will get a better late than ever review from me.
Hey, Turtle, take. We haven't been able to watch season premiere of John Oliver's Last Week Tonight, but it did go viral that he offered Clarence Thomas a $2.4 million RV and $1 million every year for the rest of his life if he resigns from the Supreme Court.
Listen,
My takeaway is, John sure as hell doesn't think Clarence is going to take this. But if he did, he would happily pay up.
I don't think HBO thinks Clarence is going to take this, because there's no way they would have let John Oliver do this shit if they thought he would actually take it. Now, on the off chance that he does take it, because we know Clarence Thomas loves taking it, how fucked do you think HBO is? I mean, like, Clarence Thomas is how old, right?
They're fucked to the max.
Clarence Thomas got to be what, like 76?
You know, come to think about it, Clarence Thomas kind of looks like if you took Grandpa and Uncle Ruckus and they did a fusion dance.
And mashed them into one person. Don't do that to John Witherspoon. 75. I was a year off. Anyway, younger than both Joe Biden and Donald Trump.
Less than a $10 million investment.
Yeah. I mean, because he can't. I'm not trying to be, that guy, but he's 76. Like
people already have a shitty opinion of you. It's not like your legacy is gonna get changed.
I mean, it's just $1 million out of John Oliver's budget, right? Like, and I'm sure
he's pissed away a lot of HBO.
That's what I'm saying, with the
really
dumb shit. So, and
like the New Zealand Bird of the World or Bird of the Century competition.
Yeah.
The one where he was like the Puteki Teki, he spent like hundreds of thousands of dollars on global advertising to vote for New Zealand's Bird of the Country.
The guy he took on that was doing all those frivolous like slap lawsuits and stuff like that, that tried to hit John with a slap lawsuit that they had to fight in court. I mean, maybe HBO is down for that, right? Like, they were like, you know what, John? That's fucking hilarious, buddy. And if he takes it, it's just gonna come out of your budget.
I love that there's one time where he's like, yeah, and you can even buy human teeth on here. In fact, and he pulls like a little pouch out. He's like,
it's a running.
Turns it over and he's like, you monsters! I cannot believe you think we would buy human teeth!
There are multiple websites where you can buy human bones. Skulls Unlimited, which is actually the company that owned that bone museum you saw earlier, sells skeletons that it guarantees are antiques. Decades-old human bones once used in places like medical schools. But under most states' laws, they don't have to be, and it is a good business. By the way, they will sell you a human skull for $2,200 or a rib for $40. You can even buy human teeth for $35 a pop, which is a pretty great deal. And the reason I know that is we bought 24 of them, except of course we didn't. Relax, we're not fucking monsters. But we could have done it if we wanted to. And I am very disappointed by how many people in this room seem genuinely worried that we might have done that. Unbelievable.
I was gonna say, look, it's just more examples of John being willing to entirely waste his budget. So I'm sure $1 million just means he wouldn't be able to buy human teeth for his next gig, right?
It's like, pardon me, I'll pay it with my Emmy winnings.
Yeah.
Listening to like the Strike Force 5 podcast during the writer's strike, which was the 5 late night hosts. It was Kimmel, Fallon, Seth Meyers, Colbert, and John Oliver.
Oh, you mean no Bill Maher?
He wasn't even invited as a guest host. They brought Conan and John on, though. They were all talking. They were like, yeah, you know, like when the late night talk show hosts come out, we celebrate who gets nominated and accept that John's gonna win. Like...
Hey, listen,
But I mean, they also say, it's like, yeah, he does one show a week and has the same production budget and staff. Of course his show is going to be better.
Yeah, and also, you know, shout out to that writing staff, Daniel O'Brien from like Cracked Team and everything like that. It's not for nothing. He does have a pretty like sick writing
research team,
and a pretty sick writing staff too. That show's got a powerhouse behind it.
A writing staff that knows his humor, which is all of John Oliver's jokes are just like so out of it's like Family Guy humor, but done well.
That's why I wish you watched more like Cracked back when it was at its peak, because like it screams like of Daniel O'Brien. Once I found out that he was like the lead writer on the show, I was like, this makes so much more sense to me, because all of these jokes were very familiar to me. Not that John hasn't always had that irreverent style, but it's like the melding of the two, and then whoever else is at that table. Yeah, no, it's a perfect it's a match made in heaven.
You know what would be cool? John Oliver used an exorbitant amount of HBO money on the Patreon for The Flood with Doc and Ziggy.
Hey,
once again,
shameless
shout out
plug
to our patrons, Enraged Peacock and Air Conditioning.
Shout out to y'all. Shout out to everybody listening, whether it's your first time or your next time. Hopefully it won't be your last time. And the fact that we ended the show with the plugs before saying none of this is normal is just another example of how
you should buy all of your Yu-Gi-Oh! Pokemon, Magic the Gathering, Flesh and Blood, board games, and card game supplies at tokenfug.com and use the promo code Ziggy to get 10% off of your order.
And none of this is
Deuces.
normal. Deuces.
Look, it's a flood. It's flooding.
Get away.
Quick, we need to get to higher ground.
Open the floodgates.
Wait, why can't we talk about black stuff?
Shit. God damn it. Future Dan. You know,
Here's the man, cutting it out where you can. Just remember that you do your best, and you make it sound better than the rest. And basically that you have creative control, and you're essentially a god.
You're still here? It's over. Go home. Go.